At some point in life, many people realize that the version of themselves they've been living as no longer fits who they want to become. Maybe your past identity was shaped by mistakes, fear, laziness, insecurity, or other people's expectations. Maybe you've been known as the unmotivated one, the quiet one, the average one, or the person who never really tried. And now you want more. More discipline, more confidence, more success, a different future. But here's the problem. You can't build a new life while constantly carrying an old identity. Your habits, choices, and mindset are deeply connected to who you believe you are. If you still see yourself as your past self, you'll keep repeating the same behaviors, even when you want change. True transformation doesn't start with goals or motivation. It starts with identity. Forgetting your past identity doesn't mean denying your past or pretending it never happened. It means refusing to let old labels, old behaviors, and old stories control your future. It means consciously deciding who you are becoming and aligning your actions with that version of yourself. In this video, I'll break down 5 powerful ways to let go of your old identity and build a new one that supports success, growth, and self-respect. 1. Stop repeating the old story you tell yourself. Your past identity stays alive because of the story you keep repeating in your mind. Statements like, "I've always been bad at this," "I'm not disciplined," or "that's just how I am," might feel harmless, but they silently lock you into your old self. Every time you repeat that story, you reinforce the identity you're trying to escape. To build a new identity, you must stop narrating your life from the perspective of your past failures and start viewing yourself as someone in progress. You don't need to lie to yourself or pretend you're already successful, but you do need to change the language you use. Replace fixed statements with growth-based ones. You are no longer who you were. You are becoming someone new through your actions. 2. Cut ties with habits that belong to your old self. Your habits are physical proof of your identity. If you keep the same habits, you keep the same identity, no matter how motivated you feel. The fastest way to forget your past identity is to stop behaving like that person. This doesn't require changing everything at once. It requires choosing a few key habits that clearly separate your old self from your future self. If your past identity avoided responsibility, start showing up consistently. If it was built on distraction, create time for focus. Each time you act differently, your brain begins to accept a new version of you. Over time, these actions stop feeling forced and start feeling natural because your identity is catching up with your behavior. 3. Change your environment to match your new identity. Your environment constantly reminds you of who you've been. The people you talk to, the content you consume, and the spaces you spend time in all reinforce a certain version of you. If your surroundings are built around your old identity, growth becomes much harder. Building a new identity requires intentional changes to your environment. This could mean organizing your space, reducing exposure to distractions, or surrounding yourself with ideas and people that reflect who you want to become. When your environment supports your goals, you don't need as much willpower. Your surroundings start pushing you forward instead of pulling you backward. 4. Act like your future self before you feel ready. Waiting to feel confident or motivated before acting is one of the biggest traps that keeps people stuck in their past identity. Successful people don't act because they feel ready. They feel ready because they act. If you want a new identity, you must start making decisions as if that identity already matters. Ask yourself how your future self would handle situations, use time, and respond to challenges. Then practice acting that way, even when it feels uncomfortable or unnatural. At first, it will feel like you're pretending. Over time, it becomes who you are. Identity is built through repeated action, not sudden belief. Let go of people's expectations of who you used to be. One of the hardest parts of changing your identity is dealing with how others see you. Some people will continue to treat you like your old self because that's what they're familiar with. If you allow their expectations to define you, you'll unconsciously return to old patterns. Building a new identity requires accepting that not everyone will understand your growth right away. You don't need approval to change. You don't need permission to evolve. When your actions consistently reflect your new standards, people will either adjust or drift away. Both outcomes are part of growth. Forgetting your past identity is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Some days, your old habits and thoughts will try to pull you back. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're in the process of becoming someone new. Every disciplined action, every better choice, and every moment you choose growth over comfort weakens your old identity and strengthens your new one. Remember this: your past does not define your limits. It only shows where you started. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to outgrow old versions of yourself. You are allowed to build a life that reflects your potential instead of your history. The moment you stop identifying with who you were and start committing to who you want to become, everything begins to shift. Success isn't about becoming a completely different person overnight. It's about slowly, consistently aligning your actions with a better version of yourself until that version feels natural. Decide today who you are building yourself into, and then prove it through action, one day at a time.